Hi everyone and welcome to the Be the Changemaker podcast series by AIESEC in University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. This particular series was inspired by the current economic situation Sri Lanka is facing as a nation. We thought this would be the time where we connect with our valuable partners for their insights and perspective on the recovery from the crisis as an organization and as well as the youth. So on the first episode of Be the Changemaker podcast series, we have Mr. Santosh Menon, the Chief Executive Officer at FCBKL.LK. FCBKL.LK is a fully integrated creative agency and is the newest affiliate office under the FCB Group India. The agency works with clients and brands including Ceylon Biscuits Limited, H&D Credit Cards, Fairfirst Life Insurance, Godrej Consumer Products and many more. Good morning, Mr. Santosh, and welcome to our podcast series.
Good morning, Jesse.
Yes, so first off, I'm going to be asking you about the thoughts you have on the current economic situation in Sri Lanka.
Well, it's come as a bit of a shock, right, for everyone. Unprecedented, unexpected, and it kind of seems like as if all of a sudden something that nobody expected has happened. So in that context, we are still in the process of evaluating all the implications of it. But fact is, when you're running a business, change is inevitable and one needs to be constantly able to adapt to the change.
Okay, so what do you think are the reasons for the current situation? Like what actually led us to be here?
Well, I think from what I read up, and obviously my knowledge comes from what I read in the newspapers, what I see on social media. I mean, it seems obvious that there are a couple of reasons. One, of course, is that there are some things which have happened around the world. The pandemic, the Ukraine-Russia war, all of these have actually created a situation of where revenues are dwindling and costs are going up. And I think that's one of the key reasons for this situation to have happened the way it is. Of course, there are many who also argue that certain degree of mismanagement at the highest levels has caused this crisis. And I suppose that could also be one of the reasons that the country finds itself in this situation.
How do you think the crisis has impacted you as an organization, as an individual as well?
Yeah, I mean, actually a very good question both. As an organization, it's forcing us to look at what our real core focus should be. Because at the end of the day, when a crisis like this, of this magnitude, hits a country and therefore no one's spared, we all are forced to reevaluate how we operate in the marketplace and what our focus should be, how should we bring out our offering, how do we keep motivating the people, how do we keep ensuring that the cash flow keeps coming in and that we have the revenue to keep paying our salaries and to make sure that enough business exists for us to keep moving forward. So I think it is a time for serious reflection, and I think we as an agency team, we are in the process of looking at ourselves more closely and figuring out what's next for us.
And how do you think that as the youth, how do you think we can contribute to recovering from this kind of crisis?
Yeah. I am seeing a lot of media reports and social media content which is showing that the youth are depressed and the youth are finding the situation far more difficult than the others. And I can kind of understand that, because I think young people have dreams, young people have, in their own hearts and minds, they have thoughts of what they want to do. And this current situation makes them feel like that they may not be able to achieve their dreams and that they may not be able to really have a great future. I would say that actually, as people, whether you're young or old or whatever, you need to be able to focus on the things that you can control. There are some things you can't control. Uh, you know, Staying focused every second on a Twitter feed is going to make you very depressed. I think you need to just focus on what you have to do, what you can do, and what is within your ambit of control, and to try to do it really well. I think that would be my. I mean, that's the way we, as a team, and myself as an individual, are really handling this situation. I'm just focusing completely on the things I can control, and I've told everybody in my team as well, focus on the things that you can control. So.
And how do you think we can impact? As in, do you think it's as the youth? Do you think it would be as impactful as any other kind of part of the population?
Oh yeah, I mean, see, at the end of the day, young people are the change makers. Yeah, I mean, because old people are kind of used to doing things a certain way. Young people are the ones with the fresh ideas, with the energy, with the enthusiasm. So, humongous change. I mean, the fact of the matter is that all of the things you see in Sri Lanka today, the creative expression of anger and frustration on the streets, it just indicates a very energetic young population, which is actually in shock, a little bit in shock, but equally they are actually evaluating the way forward, not only for themselves, but the way forward even for the country. Already it's happening. And I think these are all positive things, because at the end of the day, when you go through a crisis like this, you come out stronger. You should come out stronger. And you would hope that, given that a lot of focus is now on Sri Lanka from the international community to help Sri Lanka, one has to hope and believe that the Sri Lankan people will come out of it sooner rather than later. And that when that happens, you can probably, hopefully, very soon look back and reflect on all of the things we learned, and as youngsters look back and think of how they have made an impact on the situation and made some very positive change happen.
And one final question to you, Mr. Santosh. If you were given the chance to go back to your youth day, back when you were young, what would you do, and what would you do different to make a positive change?
I'm still young, but coming back to your actual question, yes, I think if I was in this country, and I spent my childhood and my early working years in India, but if I was in this country, maybe, and if I have the choice to go back and turn back time, I would really look at how we as a population in Sri Lanka looked at economics. I think Sri Lanka has a fantastic democracy. I mean, it's time and again it's proven it's one of the oldest. It is the oldest democracy in Asia, and has a fantastic tradition of democracy. But I think in this context, one of the things which becomes obvious is that the context for economics may not have been as clear as the context for politics. And I think that's definitely something that I think, as a young person, if I had the option of changing something, maybe I would have become more economically aware from an economics context and made the right choices in terms of leadership based on economic policy.
Thank you, Mr. Santosh. And any final message that you would like to share with the viewers?
Yeah, I really think this is the time for young people to go out and do new exciting things. While I think this is an unprecedented and scary crisis, and I'll make no statements which seems to make anyone believe that this is not so. It is very unprecedented, and it is very scary, and it is not nice at all. But in today's world, with digital technology, with internet, with the globe being literally unified as one, young people have opportunities like never before. And I think young people who can, embrace the technology, who can look at the digital technology in a new light, in a positive way, can actually make a significant difference to this country in terms of looking at the globe as a marketplace and probably finding smart ways to earn money and bring US dollars into the country. I mean, I think, we are actually, as Sri Lanka, giving away digital nomad visas. I mean, I think there are close to 1.5, 2 million natural citizens who are already, digitally savvy, who should be, and they already are sitting in this beautiful island, so they should be using this time to use their digital skills for the betterment of the country. I mean, that's probably my last message. And I think we need to keep our chin up, and we need to feel positive, and we need to seek help. If I think, there's no shame if you're feeling down and anxious or depressed. And I think there are enough systems and institutions nowadays for you to seek help. And I think as young people, your future is ahead of you. Seek help if you're feeling down. But my advice is, as much as possible, try to stay positive and try to control the controllables. There are some things which are not controllable, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. So that's probably what I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Santosh. And that brings our first episode to an end. Thank you so much, Mr. Santosh, for taking the time and for sharing your valuable insights with us. And we're truly grateful for FCBKL.LK for being on us in our journey with AIESEC University. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanushi. The pleasure is all mine.